All right, so today we're going to install a locker into my Jeep finally. I'm going to do a lunchbox locker. I did a lot of research, discovered that all the lunchbox lockers are pretty similar, at least with what people's experience was. And so I went with the one that had the newer technology with it. So I chose to do the Aussie locker. And in 2001, there was a redesign to it that actually makes it even easier to install. And because you don't have to do the gap spacing anymore in the middle, and they even give you a note of that in here. There's kind of a please read, there's an updated design model, and then they give you a packet of instructions that describes the updated version to the locker. But it's a pretty straightforward, it's a lunchbox locker. So we've got the two main pieces, the actual locker part, and then underneath them is the pieces that go onto the axle shafts, connecting to this right in there. So we're going to install that into my Jeep XJ today, and we'll see how it goes. This is kind of a new experience for us, and I'm hoping to gain some knowledge from this, and we'll see how it goes. So one of the first things is to drain the differential gear oil, and because there's no plug on on the Dana 35, we just had to loosen the bolts at the bottom. So, you know, start with this, pull it out so that the inner pin can come out, and then it's the spider gears on the inside here that will pull out carefully, keeping track of the shims, and then it'll fit inside like the carrier here.
6mm thing. Yeah. Right.
What size was it?
Big down.
It's a quarter of an inch.
Does the pin drive one certain direction?
Yeah, it'll come out where you pulled the nut from, or the bolt from.
Okay, so spin it. Yeah, and then I can tap it that way. Well, it just pushes.
Yeah, it should be hardly anything.
So then spin it back around. There. So I don't know what you. It's kind of warm.
Well, I drove down here.
Where you?
Let's just put it into here for now, because I have a new one of that anyways. But I need the bolts and stuff on it,
So then rotate it up. There you go. There's your first piece. Keep rotating.
Was that a C-clip?
No.
Oh, and we were hoping to keep track of the washers. Is your left and right still in there?
That was these.
Okay, that's fine, because those ones don't go back. It's the left and right ones we have to keep track
No,
of.
those come out when you pull the
C-clips.
They're here!
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
So rotate it up. Just rotate the tires.
I think it's gonna have to be this one. I don't think it'll move now.
Oh, no, okay, it's the drive shaft.
Yeah.
Okay, well, or just keep going. Keep going. Oh, here goes the next one. All right, that works.
Okay.
So those clips should just.
It should just come right off. But
Yeah.
keep track of the washers, and we have to keep track of which one's left and which one's right. Because when we put them back in, they need to be, it's the same washers.
It's a tad warm. If the axle needs to be pushed in here to release it.
Yeah, I think it.
Yep, there, that fell.
Okay.
All right. So now the axle has to come out. Not all the way, just far enough for this to come out. A little more. There you go. Maybe a hair more.
Okay.
Okay. So now, maybe spin the drive shaft. Yeah. So we get gravity to help. A little more. Just keep going.
There, your gears. There you
There's the clip.
go. Okay. Want me to get in
Yeah,
there?
just rotate it down so gravity helps more.
Hi, Jess. Are you going, Jess?
Oh, it's got to come out the other side. So rotate it 180. I guess we have more room on the other side. There we go.
Okay, there should be some washers on that.
Oh, shims.
Shims, yeah. And I bought more shims in case these ones were in bad shape. If not, they're going to be still on there.
So
Yeah, they're still on there then.
that's one that broke.
Oh, well.
Lots of pieces.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is a this is a limited slip. This is a posi. Look at all these shims.
This is a limited slip, which means the locker won't go in there. How is this a limited slip?
That's your clutch pack.
Don't put it back together backwards.
Wait. Yeah.
Maybe go in reverse.
Okay, so that's that side.
So that's this side. Well, I mean, but if we pull all this out, what happens?
Well, I mean, I don't even know how to put this stuff back together.
Yeah.
But the thing is
I mean, that's broken.
and that's
anyways.
broke, so you can't put it back together.
Yeah.
Enough?
No more.
There you go. Oh yeah, and look, that one's broke too.
Okay, so this is the right side.
In pieces.
I think the only thing I can think of is they blew this apart and pulled out all the pieces and put it back together and just let it go.
The rest of it, Nathan. You're missing a whole.
I think that makes a full circle.
You're missing like half of it, like a whole chunk out of it.
Okay, so we we ran into an issue. This is not an open differential, or at least it's got some problems to where it sort of looks like it has a limited slip in it, which the Aussie locker doesn't go for the limited slip. However, pulling it apart, we discovered that there's some broken pieces anyways. In fact, this is the, if I'm staring at the rear differential, this was the left side, and that thing is in two pieces. All the rest of the clutches are there, but then there's some other broken pieces. And on the right side, and the right side's even worse, it's got three pieces for this little one here. We're not sure if is it all the way? Is that everything? So anyways, it was broken regardless, and so we're not really sure what to do now. We're gonna have to figure out, because the Aussie locker does not go into, it only goes into an open carrier, and this indicates that it wasn't an open carrier. And so now we got to figure out what's going to happen. So I guess we get to go research online to find out what we're gonna have to do to fix this. Because it definitely needs fixed, because it won't go anywhere. All right, I'm back in the shop. After some deliberation and some running around town, searching all over the place, once we pulled out the interior of the carrier on this rear differential, we discovered that this thing has a factory limited slip, but it wasn't working right, and that was due to some broken pieces. And so after some investigation and, like I said, running around town, I discovered that my brother-in-laws, a couple of them, have their old Jeeps parked out in a field at my father-in-law's house. And so I went out there, and after asking, and salvaged a differential with the same limited slip in the back. So now we're going to try to install it in. We'll see how that goes. And more to come. So I got a tool from my father-in-law that is supposed to help you measure for backlash. Now, I don't exactly know how it goes. All right, well, if I did it right, so here we go. If I did this right, set on there, a rocket, it's like 11 or 12 thousandths. So it's like 12 thousandths. The tolerance said to be 6 to 10 thousandths. But it's at 12. I'm gonna film how I set it there so that I get it in the right spot. I mean,
If it's not a direct shot, if it's angled, looks like you're angled.
that's what I was wondering
It's going
too.
to get a different reading.
So then I need to like adjust it more. All right, so we're gonna pull out the axle so it can be delivered to get the locker in. And so we had to pull apart some things, which I want to show because we got to know how to put them back together. First thing, the emergency brake. Had to hook those in there. There we go. And so that'll feed up inside that box that's up in there. And then the other thing is we had to take this brake line hose off up there. And there's a clip that slides underneath the end of this hose to hold it into place. And so now...
And then the vent tube comes off.
And the vent tube at the top of this goes up and just kind of feeds into the frame here. So we're going to have to pull that out. It's just a vent, so it's not like it's attached to anything on the other side, hopefully. Of course, pulled the drive shaft out. And now we're going to do the shocks. And after the shocks are out, we will then work on the bolts holding down all of the leaf springs, which hopefully aren't too bad to take off because we recently replaced the leaf springs within a last year or two. So, all right, that's the goal. We'll see what happens.
stop.
Ready? Yeah.
Mom will have to record.
All right, stop. Stop, stop.
So the axle is finally complete after all of the fiasco of everything, and so we're gonna go pick it up now and then of course put it back into the Jeep. Now that it has been done properly and with the right parts, and it actually is a worm gear drive rear end, and so that'll work out really nicely. I wanted to put an air locker in it, but this is the next best thing since parts for air lockers are not available anywhere, and it's going to be months before anything gets caught back up for material wise. So anyways, we're almost there. We'll get the axle and we'll take it back to Dad's shop and we'll put it back onto the Jeep, and at that point hopefully the Jeep will be drivable again. All right, we're down to the last little couple pieces on the differential. We're putting the oil into it right now, and then we're going to bleed the brake lines after we finish the differential fill unrelated brake lines, and then the Jeep should be back in shape to drive again. Has no driver's seat in it right now, but that's okay. We'll get the driver's seat back in. And so, yay, Jeep will be drivable again. All right, well, we're getting the wheels back on. We got all the oil in, the brakes fluid flushed on the rear. So, and what? Oh, bled, yeah. Brake fluid bled, brakes bled. So now, once the tires are back on, we can fire it up and go for a small drive. And
Small drive to Moab.
small drive to Moab, yeah.